member in the Modern Languages Department, and it's my great honor to have President Ransdell, Dean Lee from Powder College, Dr. Pan, and Ms. Betty Yu from the Confucius Institute, and our president of the Chinese Club, Isabella Green, and then the student officers to welcome you, and thank you very much for joining us in celebrating the new Chinese major and the minor. So I'm going to give the floor to President Ransdell. Thank you.
Thank you. So, how many of you are enrolled in Chinese courses right now? Most of you? Very good. So how many of you think you might want to enroll in Chinese courses in the future? Good, good. This is a terrific moment for our university because this is really the celebration of the coming together of our Chinese major, and I've seen some of you are involved in our Asian Studies program. Dean Lee can talk more about those, but I'm so pleased that our Department of Modern Language has embraced Chinese language as a major at WKU. We were fortunate to get funding for our Chinese flagship program several years ago, really before we had a major in Chinese language, which was rather unprecedented at the time for the Department of Defense Critical Languages program, which funds the Chinese flagship. But because of that, we were able to mold the Chinese flagship program in ways uninhibited or unencumbered by traditions that might relate to the study of the language as a normal major. We then followed with the creation of the Chinese major. Now we have over 40 students majoring in Chinese. We have over 50 students in the Chinese flagship program. And I know the number, certainly in the Chinese major, will continue to grow in the future. So this is important for us. We have put a major stake in China as part of our international reach. We understand the importance of that emerging world language. We understand the importance of that emerging population on the global landscape. And we also understand the importance of trade with China from an economic standpoint going forward. And so the degree to which we can learn, understand, learn more about the culture, learn more about the history. After all, China for 40-some years was really closed off to the world in terms of understanding what the history and the nature and the culture of that amazing country entailed. But as the 70s evolved and as the world began to learn more about China and China opened up to the globe, all that began to change and their economy took off, and it's very important that we understand, embrace, and facilitate economic trade going forward. And I've often said, you don't always have to condone a country's politics to embrace and understand its people, and understand its history and the value of that history in a global context, and the unique culture. We have old buildings in this country that are maybe hundreds of years old. We somehow think are old and historic. You go to parts of China and buildings and elements are thousands of years old. And so that is really a world culture, and it's important that we learn and understand that. The politics will work themselves out over time. I'm confident that those things that might cause stress for some will gradually come together in important ways. But until then, I want our students to have a sense of the importance of the international context as it relates to China going forward. But I can say the same thing about many other countries and continents across the globe as well. And that's why new majors like Chinese and Arabic and other languages that are unfolding in our Department of Modern Languages are so important. But from a campus standpoint, we have a Chinese Learning Center. Many of you may have seen the Mobile Chinese Learning Center, the bus that travels across small towns across Kentucky to take the Chinese culture into those communities. That's part of our Confucius Institute. Wei Ping, Betty, 37 teachers right now teaching Chinese language in our public schools. Our Confucius Institute is consistently bringing cultural events to our campus from our friends and partner institutions in China. We just took the orchestra to China last May for 4 concerts. And we're doing so much on this campus that continues to bind us with the Chinese language and history and culture. Dr. Pan and I will be in China in July. We'll be visiting our partner universities there. We'll be visiting our friends at Hanban, the Chinese education ministry that supports our Confucius Institute. And we have a couple other things we'll do while we're there as well. So this is important to us. Thank you for being part of this today and part of this celebration. And I'm really glad to see such a strong start to our Chinese major in the Department of Modern Languages. Is Laura? I was looking for Laura.
She's
McGee.
overseas.
She is overseas. Well, okay, that's where our head of the Department of Modern Languages ought to be, I guess. So good for her. So thank you all very much. David, come on up. David Lee, as you know, is Dean of Carter College of Arts and Letters. If there's anyone in this campus who understands the value of language as a cultural underpinning to what we're about as a university, it would be Dean Lee. And so thank you for your leadership and all that you're doing to perpetuate and facilitate and strengthen these programs. And so I'll turn it over to you. Thank you very much. You bet.